4 at Domit Kwabenya constituency, the collation of the parliamentary results was disrupted and led to the destruction of some of the hard copy pink sheet. When the AC met to resolve the issue, 3 of the hard copy pink sheets containing the results from 3 polling stations were missing. However, when the EC was finally able to resolve the issues and the 3 polling station results were provided, one of them was detected to have been declared on the wrong pink sheet. That is a declaration from meant for training of presiding officers instead of the actual declaration form. When the results from the 2 remaining polling stations were added, it showed a difference of 165 votes, with the National Democratic Congress NDC parliamentary candidate Elik Blim Akrugu leading that of the New Patriotic Party candidate Mike Okwe Jr. The polling station that the result has been rejected, that is the Bokobi Women's Development Training Center, has a total population of about 665. According to the Electoral Commission, assuming if the vote were to be declared for the NPP candidates, the results will change considering the difference of 165 votes and therefore the need to rerun the election in that particular polling station alone. According to the Director of Training at the EC, Dr. Cerebral Kweku, the Commission was going to meet to determine when to rerun that election at the polling station. Meanwhile, the National Democratic Congress NDC has vehemently opposed the Electoral Commission's decision to rerun election at a polling station in the Domit Kwabenya constituency. This decision follows the suspension of parliamentary results for the 3rd time after chaos erupted during the tallying process on Saturday, December 27. The EC's Director of Training, Dr. Cerebral Kweku, announced to rerun, attributing it to the absence of pink sheets for the Abokobi Women's Development Center 2 polling station. However, the NDC insists that its candidate Elik Blim Akrugu emerged victorious in the parliamentary election held on December 7. Speaking to the media after the EC announced the decision, the NDC Deputy Director of Elections and IT, Dr. Rashid Tanko Computer, strongly rejected the EC's decision and calculation. Let's take it back. We have a conversation on this.
Makukwe had 50,000. So there was a difference of 1,154. Very huge difference. So today, if you are having problem with one polling station, that one polling station should be taken out, and that one polling station total votes are 689. So when you take out 689 from 1,157, your guess is as good as it's a simple arithmetic. You see the problem I have with this commission. They always have problem with arithmetic. That's their problem. So they said they would rely on a laptop to do a calculation. Do we do electronic calculation in Ghana? Our results are manual. We go by the pink sheets and we go by the collation form. The collation form is what is known as the Form 1C. Then the summary sheet is the Form 1D. So we have taken the Form 1C. We'll do the calculation for them and bring it back. These people have problems with
your votes have been reduced?
Completely. We completely disagree with it because on the face of it, they themselves know that when you declared her, she was leading with about 1,154. So if you are expanding one, and the one total votes is 689, this one is a primary school mathematics. It's not algebra.
So
it's not logarithm.
You feel that the 165 is a decrease in your calculation?
Of course. They have problem with arithmetic. We are going to do the calculation and bring it back. We told them they should hold their horses. We are doing the calculation ourselves. Our opponents also pick one. They should also go and enter. We'll go and enter. Simple Excel sheet and we'll get it. There's no rerun. She has won.
The EC just told us. That there's going to be a rerun.
I am saying that they have. No, I'm saying we have won the election.
So that means you're not going to campaign back at Abokobi station?
Campaign, you are talking. I say we have won the election. You are talking. The document will show. Let's come back. We are coming back with it. We'll go and sit down, do the arithmetic for them.
Dr. Tanko, you told us that you have to go and do the recalculation from the C1 form you got from the EC.
Yes.
And then that will inform your decision. You haven't done the calculation yet, but you say...
I am saying that per the calculation they did on the D-Day and what they've written on their own summary sheet, it's 51,000 for Madam Akrugu. The gentleman got 50,000. It's there. It's on the distance. So if you go and you are saying remove one. If you go and polling station from it, and it's a problem to them.
And then it arrives at the figure the EC announced today. What would you tell the public that you are...
I am saying that we are going...
Dr. Rashid Tanko over there, very quite immutable, but he has joined us live on phone. Doc, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So, as per the agitation we saw you in the video, but still the EC has mentioned that the discrepancy at the Abokobi Women's Development Center probably could change the overall results. Now, given the close margin in that particular constituency, how does the NDC view the potential impact it may have in the rerun?
We are not accepting that rerun. We have won the election. The people came out and spoke loudly. The Abokobi Women Training Center too. They came out and spoke loudly on December 7th. They voted. There was no overvoting there. Everything went on well. Counting was properly done. Then their own officer, the EC officer, decided to fill a different form. How does that affect us? Why should that one affect the people's choice? The lapses of the EC officers should affect the people's choice. We are not going to accept it. That's why we are insisting that we won the election.
But Doc, if you say the NDC is rejecting the idea of a rerun, we know that that particular constituency has become very contentious, and wouldn't this rerun, especially if the integrity of the original results is questionable, doesn't it call for a rerun?
It's not questionable. Where is the questionability here? Where is the questionability? There's no questionable. They declared the results on the 9th. Including all these 370 polling stations. Then you see they have problem with 3 because soft copies were used. We provided 2 for them. The last one is their own making. It's their own officer who messed up the place. The people came out and voted all right. Voted NDC massively for that place. So why do we have to use the lapses of your own officers to punish a whole polling station, voters, as well as the winner of the place? Why should we suffer it? Why should we suffer that kind of arrangement? No, we are not going to accept it.
So in this case, isn't the NDC going to allow its candidates to partake in the rerun again?
They cannot be a rerun on that place because we won the place. They must declare us winners. The people spoke already. Why are they forcing them to come back and speak again?
But Doc, why then does it look like? I mean, looking at the conversations that have erupted from this whole election, especially with the Abokobi incident that we're still speaking about, is the NDC trying to challenge the Electoral Commission in this? Because there have been some discrepancies, as I said earlier, and they also have reiterated that, look, there have been some discrepancies in that, and so there should be a rerun. But the NDC is opposing to that. So in this case, should the EC go ahead to do a rerun without your candidate, wouldn't that have an implication on the electoral results?
I'm saying that, look, they are giving a wrong narration. There's no discrepancy. What is the discrepancy? There's no discrepancy. The votes were counted publicly. Everybody heard it. 114 for MPP and 223 for NDC. It was clear. Everybody heard it. And now you put it on a paper. Somebody decided to use a different paper specimen pink sheet to write the results, and we should suffer because of that. Should we suffer because of that? You call this one discrepancies?
Now, let's go back to some court issues. We know that tomorrow, Accra High Court will sit on the NDC's case regarding to some of the contentious seat again that was in the news. Now, given that the results from the 3 polling stations were suspended and for that matter is still pending for resolution, what is the NDC's position on the legal process?
Oh, it's very true. We are going through it. In fact, we agree with the ruling of the Supreme Court and then the orders given by the Supreme Court. So we are going by it tomorrow. We will appear before the new judge who is going to sit on the matter. But we are very clear in our mind. It's very clear those 4 constituencies, they were properly declared by the returning officers. If you are not satisfied, you know the procedure to take, not to come and call for a recollection and all that. There's no recollection in our laws. We have no recollection whatsoever. Let them go by it. If you are not satisfied with declaration, you know the path to go.
Tanko, I wanted to ask another question, but then again, I'm reminded again on this particular question about the whole Abokobi conversation. Is the NDC going to challenge that in court anytime soon? Since you say that it's still maintained its position and not ready for any rerun, is the NDC going to contest this in court?
Court? Simple matter too. We should go to court. This simple matter. You want us to go to court to litigate over it?
Well, that's why I asked earlier that is the NDC challenging the Electoral Commission?
We are telling them that they should reason up. This is a simple administrative matter. It's not a legal matter. It's a simple administrative matter. The lady did not have the thing because she spoiled the presidential, the parliamentary pension. So she didn't know where to put the resource on. And the only available paper at that point was the specimen paper. So she put the resource on it. Why should we suffer from it? If you are going to take action, you take action against the presiding officer, but not the parties and the voters. The voters have spoken. Their decision is very clear. She has no place to put it because she spoiled the pink sheet. Why should we suffer? And this one too, I should go to court and tell the judge what? This is common sense, and it must apply.
Doc, we were taking your final conversation on what to expect tomorrow in terms of the position the NDC is taking legally on some of the three contentious seats that the court will be hearing tomorrow.
Well, very well. Tomorrow we'll meet there. When we get there, we'll cross.
All right. We have been speaking to Dr. Rashid Tanko. He is the Deputy Director of Elections and IT for the National Democratic Congress. Away from that, let's move straight to Parliament. And the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Kingsford Bagbin, has declared that parliamentary candidates whose results were annulled by the Supreme Court on Friday, 27 December 2024, are not eligible to be sworn in as members of Parliament on 6 January 2025. He emphasized that the Supreme Court's decision rendered their declaration invalid and unlawful. The Supreme Court nullified the recollated results for the Okankwe Central, Ablekuma North, Tema Central, and Techiman South constituencies, citing irregularities in the Electoral Commission's recollation process. The Apex Court ruled that the procedure did not meet the required standards of transparency and fairness. This ruling followed a legal challenge by the National Democratic Congress against a directive issued by the High Court on 20th December, which instructed the Electoral Commission to recollate results in 9 disputed constituencies. This made the Supreme Court's ruling vindicate the NDC's stance, asserting that the recollation and subsequent declaration were improper and invalid. Speaking in Parliament on Saturday in Accra, Mr. Bagbin noted that the Supreme Court's decision reinforced his position on the matter.
To become a member of Parliament, you have to be elected by the voter. And you have to be declared by the Electoral Commission. But you have to be sworn in by the Speaker. Thank you. Until you are sworn in by the Speaker, you remain elected. So I was very clear in my mind that some of those re-collations and re-declarations were completely now and void ab initio. They were unknown to the law. And so they were not properly so-called MPs elect. I'm not qualified to be sworn in by you. My back this year, we had many discussions. When I told them, they were all surprised. I said, yes, I'm the gatekeeper. The right thing must be done for us to be able to reset gap. And so, this recognition, I tell you, is going to do more than what I have done.
Meanwhile, the Speaker, Alban Bagbin, has cautioned the NDC to be cautious in their deeds in action following the resounding victory the party choked in the 2024 elections. According to him, the party's absolute majority in the 9th Parliament is a repose of confidence in the party to reset the country and turn things around. He, however, warned the party to be circumspect with their actions so not to be lose the confidence of the people.
We celebrate the resilience and perseverance of our party and democracy. After 8 difficult years in opposition, we bounce back stronger and better. The absolute majority we now possess in the next parliament does not merely reflect the confidence of the Ghanaian people in the party, but it underscores their yearning for change, for progress, and their trust in the party's promise to reset Ghana. And Ghana, we must reset. We cannot do that just in 4 years. It behoves on all of us in what we say, in what we do. So as we transition into this new chapter, I urge the Pro Forum to remain an integral force within the incoming NDC government. Your insights, professionalism, dedication, and ability to mobilize support to reset Ghana will be critical as we work together to breathe new life into our economy, our governance, our institutions, particularly the judiciary. Very, very important for you to play, whether you are given space or not. Go for that space.
You are still watching news on ABC News Ghana. This is ABC Midday. Once again, I'm Eric Chinibuamelo. We stream it live on YouTube. Connect with us. Let us know what you think about it. Now, still in Parliament, the President of the National Democratic Congress Professional Forum, Sam Yale, has advocated for Alban Bagbin's retention as Speaker of the coming 9th Parliament. The call, according to the group, is hinged on Bagbin's proven leadership skills as head of the legislative arm of government and an embodiment of the NDC's principle thus far. In his address during the honorary ceremony in Parliament on Saturday, the President of the Forum, Sam Yale, expressed the group's unflinching support for Bagbin's endorsement.
We want to be the first to dare say that our members of parliament should dare not make a mistake. They dare not make any mistake in changing you. We are not just making a political call. We have researchers among us. We have persons who are on the ground and know what the ordinary man or woman feels and knows. And we have come to the firm conclusion that you'll be needed even more in this one-sided parliament. Because if you are not who you are, there's going to be the temptation of saying that, as somebody said, you instead of just between your gavel, you just say Ezu, and the people will say Eza. But right, Honorable Speaker, we know you're more than that. We believe that you can live above God because of our firm belief in you, that for you, Ghana first. Right, Honorable Speaker, sometimes man proposes and God disposes. But I agree with the Reverend Minister that the 4 years is for you to lead Parliament. I want to conclude that we of the NDC Professional Forum would double our effort in supporting everything that you do and give you feedback if there's the need for that. On that note, shall we all rise? Revo.
From Parliament, let's settle matters with the NPP. And the National Council of the governing New Patriotic Party is scheduled to convene on January 2, 2025 to deliberate on several critical matters in the aftermath of the 2024 general elections. This meeting, which will be held at the party's headquarters in Accra, marks the first official gathering of the NEC since the party experienced a colossal defeat in the December 7 general polls. The electoral outcome has set the stage for intense introspection and strategic planning as the party transition to its new role as a parliamentary minority. Sources within the party indicate that one of the primary items of the agenda of the upcoming meeting is the leadership structure of the minority front in the 9th Parliament. This issue has sparked widespread discussion among party members with dividing opinions on the path after the NPP navigates its new parliamentary position. Among the many voices contributing to the debate is Joseph Osei-Wusum, the current Member of Parliament for Bekwai and the First Deputy Speaker of Parliament. Osei-Wusum, alongside other party stalwart, has strongly advocated for retaining Alexander Afenyo-Markin, the current majority leader, in the leadership role. Many believe Afenyo-Markin's experienced political acumen and ability to foster unity within the party make him an ideal candidate to lead the NPP as the minority leader in the next parliament. We want to have a conversation on the back of this, and joining us is the Deputy General Secretary of the NPP, Haruna Mohammed, to have a conversation. Good afternoon, Haruna. You're welcome to our program this afternoon. First of all, let me ask you, given the NPP's defeat in the 2024 general election, what are the key issues the NEC is planning to address on January 2 meeting?
I don't think that NEC is planning to address any issue. NEC is not meeting even this week. It's only National Council that is meeting. And they would meet to take stock of different issues, not to meet on these matters. The National Chairman has been very specific on this matter. He says that there will be a committee that will look into it. So what will NEC of Council be sitting to look at? So it is too early days yet for us to be discussing these matters when a proper committee has not been constituted to look at those matters.
Well, it looks as though the NPP is still shocked and has not recovered from this resounding defeat, I may believe. But then again, how does the NPP plan to adapt to its new role as the parliamentary minority, and perhaps are there any immediate strategies that the party is considering to put in place to realign the grounds in future elections?
Unfortunately, the NPP is not shocked. Elections has two results. Either you win or you lose, and we have lost the election, and we have indicated that we are going to set up a committee or a team to look into it and report back to the party. So it's not entirely true that the assessment you made that we are still in shock. Secondly, when we get to the minority stage and leadership is elected, we'll get to it. This time too, we have been in minority with such a number. In 1992, we didn't even have a minority at all because we were not in parliament. In 1996, we had only just 66 members of parliament. So, and we handled the parliamentary proceedings. Up to today, the 66 members or the 60 or so members that were there are still remembered by history. So we are always the New Patriotic Party, and we will perform wonders in that particular parliament when we get there.
Haruna, when you say the NPP is not shocked, I just want my viewers to have a better understanding. Does it mean that even though the NPP was anticipating to win the elections, after this defeat, the party is confident that...
I am telling you that elections has two results. One is to win, one is to lose. So I don't think that we should be sitting down even 3 weeks or so after elections, still be sitting down shocked. That is why I am telling you that we are not sitting down shocked. We are planning as to how to get out of that particular situation. So we are not sleeping on it.
But the committee that your party is setting definitely is to do a restructuring, and as they said, a self-introspection.
We are not doing any restructuring. We are going to sit down. We'll give terms of reference. Yeah, so you wait when we get there and we are able to put out and get the terms of reference. The media will definitely get to hear us.
Right. Now, let me ask you about the talks about leadership structure of your party in minority in the 9th Parliament. Is the party settling on Afenyo-Markin to be the minority leader, as most of you, the party members have suggested?
There is laid down procedures in choosing who leads Parliament, and our party constitution is also clear. It is the National Council. in consultation with the parliamentary caucus. So we are yet to do that. When we do it, we'll communicate it through the General Secretary, and the media will pick it up.
And finally, before I let you go, is the NEC also meeting going to discuss some of the NEC Council, the National Council, I beg your pardon, meeting to discuss any significant reforms for changes such as, organizations in the party?
The agenda for the meeting is not open, it's not known, but it is too early days that we will be sitting down to discuss reforms. The national chairman is specific. He says that we are going to set up a committee. The committee will go and come back. That is where we'll be able to discuss this matter. So it's too early days for us to be discussing reforms when we have not initiated the process of getting these particular resolutions to be looked at the appropriate forum.
Then it means that the committee really is not going to focus in so much on the defeat, but still going to look at the structures?
We have not set up a committee yet. That's why I'm telling you. So National Council cannot be looking at those matters. The committee will be set up. The committee will go out there and get those facts and bring it before the National Council, or we call a conference. So we haven't gotten there yet.
All right.
Okay.
We have been speaking to Haruna Muhammad. He's the Deputy Secretary of the New Patriotic Party. We will keep an eye on that. He says the NPP is not shocked after the defeat, but we will still maintain and see how things really go for the New Patriotic Party and the aftermath of the National Committee, the National Council meeting that is expected to happen this January 2nd, 2025. We'll bring you more comprehensive coverage on that. But let's still do more news. You're still watching ABC Midday. I am Eric Triniboamelo. Your thoughts and comments would be appreciated. We're streaming live on YouTube. Join the conversation. Away from that, Richard Fiadomom, the president of the Chamber of the Local Government, says the issue in Ghana is the lack of enforcement of the laws, not the lack of laws. Speaking on the Galamsey issue on ABC in the morning, Mr. Fiadomo said that the laws is to govern the state are available, yet the government is not committed to its enforcement to solve the problem of the ordinary Ghanaian, but is only concerned about the satisfaction of the personal interest. He expresses dissatisfaction with the loss of some members of parliament allegedly involved in some scandals in this year's election.
Yes. Their laws are there. The issue is our enforcement. You see, when you look at this whole gamut of Galamsey issues and all that, it is so clear that it is not about the law. It is just about the non-commitment of the government of the day. Why is the government not committed? It is because for them, it is just about winning elections. So if we are going to make money from Galamsey operations and win the elections, so be it. So it is not about the laws. The laws are clear. My sister, you and I should now attempt...
Well, Doc, I am Eric. My name is Eric.
Eric, sorry. My brother, if you and I are to enter any forest today, the government in no time will cause us our arrest. And the Environmental Protection Agency realized that what we are doing, the Minerals Commission and all that. So it is the non-commitment of the government. And why are they not committed? Not because there are no laws to fight the Environmental Protection Agency. Their laws are there. The issue is our enforcement. You see, when you look at this whole gamut of Galamsey issues and all that, it is so clear that it is not about the law. It is just about the non-commitment of the government of the day. Why is the government not committed? It is because for them...
Meanwhile, Mr. Fiadomo says the outgoing government has performed abysmally in its term of governance. According to him, the government turned a deaf ear to some issues and ignored the destruction of the environment. He adds that the government has failed to work with its representatives in the various sectors and the DCEs and MMDCEs to fight against Galamsey and other problems facing the country.
Essentially, at the local governance space, obviously this government has failed the local governance system, and we are hoping and praying that the next government will be able to restructure and reset the local governance sector to get things running. Why am I saying this? I heard Madam Aula talk about the Galamsey and the environment. All these things are governance and indeed local government issues. Where is it that the local government area in which the galamsey is being done, the MMDCs who are in charge of those areas, who are supposed to be the head of the municipal, metropolitan or district security, they sit down aloof and allow.
Well, still on some environmental issues, Awulo Sewa, the executive director of Eco-Conscious Citizens, cautioned the incoming government to listen to the plea of Ghanaians during their term of government. Speaking on ABC in the morning, she referenced the incident in the current government, that is, the reluctant and did not take precautions to fight the galamsey as demanded by Ghanaians. She asked that the NDC ensure all offenders are brought to book. She said this earlier on ABC in the morning.
Happen. The new government has a window of opportunity and they have an overwhelming mandate, but they are also on notice. There's a cautionary tale. If you disregard the welfare of Ghanaians, come elections, you'll be voted out massively. So they have seen what has happened, and I should hope that they will focus on cleaning up the environment. And let me add at this point that even when our waters are transparent, it doesn't mean that the poisons are no longer there. Let's be on notice. Let's be on notice that yes, when the water is brown, we can clearly see water is life. We can clearly see that the water is polluted. But even when it regains its true color, it doesn't mean that the poison is not still there, and it needs to be cleaned up. And it takes a very, very long time and tons of money. That's why we said we have to have the principle of the tons and tons of money. That's why we said we have to have the principle of the polluter pays. Find out. Has a window of opportunity and they have an overwhelming mandate, but they are also on notice. There's a cautionary tale. If you disregard the welfare of Ghanaians, come elections, you'll be voted out massively. So they have seen what has happened, and I should hope that they will focus on cleaning up the environment. And let me add at this point that even when our waters are transparent, it doesn't mean that the poisons are no longer there. Let's be on notice. Let's be on notice that yes, when the water is brown, we can clearly see water.
From that, with just a few hours to 2025, ABC News Ghana wants to understand what has been the highlight of most Ghanaians in the year 2024 from economic, politic and social issues. Some Ghanaians have shared their 2024 highlights. Let's take a listen.
Yeah, I think basically politics will dominate. Because when we look at some of the decisions that were made this year, I look at things like the National Cathedral. Because recently, yesterday or 3 days today, I heard in the news that AUNST, the freshers, postponed their opening dates. And when we look at the amount of money we spent on other issues like the National Cathedral, such money could have been used to pay WAEC so that they mark the students' grade, the SHS students, so that they can go back to school. You know, they were supposed to resume in November or so, but they couldn't come because of lack of funds. They don't have money to mark the papers or purchase equipment or pay their staff to do whatever is needed for them to release the results.
This country, the only thing is we are just facing one problem that I don't think I'm the only one facing certain. When we look at the country now, it's very tough for us, and in fact, things are not moving on as we were expecting. Especially our leaders are not helping us at all. The economy is very hard, to be honest with you. So even just look at this betting thing, this tax that they are putting on bets. In fact, it's not helping us. To be honest with you, it's not helping us because even there is no job in the country, and even the bet itself, pastors are even doing it. And as a leader, when you tell us that you are putting, how do you call it, tax and stuff on betting, in fact, you are killing the youth.
Nanado promised a lot. The promises he made all came faulty. He didn't, not all, but most of them came faulty. Because I'm very disappointed that for him destroying the polyclinic, which we all attend to hospital medications and all. And he dismantled. He said he's coming to do never trade fair. Now that is going on, and we only doubt how many days, how many years it will take us. Trade fair was going on. Everything came forth. The free education that he promised, he made it, but it wasn't free education. because I can see there's Ghana, yeah, there's no anything that is free.
The MPs around to try their best to do something better in the town. Like we all try to vote for them to contribute to add it up to them. We all voted for them so that we can select something best out in the town. So I think they should try their best and do something. But anything that goes on, we are still in the country. Because no matter what, we'll still be in the country. Me, I don't see them doing anything best or better in the country. To my side, I don't see them doing anything best or better for me. But no matter what we still do, they are still our president and we are still inside like that.
You can also let us know what your 2024 highlight has been in our comment section live on our YouTube platform, ABC News Ghana. Would appreciate it. Away from that, let's do some security matters. And 10 police officers have filed a lawsuit seeking the court's order to prevent the Inspector General of Police from transferring them from their current post. The officers, led by Sergeant David Oyejim, allege that the transfer directive issued by the police administration is baseless and unjustified. According to court documents, the officers were recruited for an intelligence gathering operations under the direction of Deputy IGP Christian Tete Yohonu. Despite the transfer orders, the Deputy IGP Yohonu allegedly instructed the officers to defy the directive and remain at their current post. The officers have been interdicted pending a service enquiry, but the disciplinary process is on hold until the High Court resolves the ongoing judicial review. Sergeant Oyejim and the deponent noted that pursuant to its powers to, by way of constitutional instruments, to make regulations for the preference of its functions and the efficient administration of Ghana Police Service, the Police Council made the Police Service Regulations 2012 CI 76 on August 15, 2012. They, among other things, provide for the creation of directorates and the assignment and delegation of roles. The police officers include Sergeant Prince Owusu Fayosim, Sergeant Seidu Esilfi, Sergeant Alex Abba, Corporal John Yaho, and Corporal Michael Kwesi Ayuvi, Corporal Hudu Muhammad, Corporal Garibu Muhammad, Corporal Hannah Entry Bosiako, and Sergeant Prince Owusu Fayose, IC Inspector Alexander Odoy. Now, the transition over the disputed Keta reclaimed land escalated on Sunday, December 29 and 2024 as unidentified men armed with bulldozers, particularly, demolishing the private building of Keta Municipal Chief Executive MCE Emmanuel Gameje at the Adido Flasco near the Emancipation Beach. The men who arrived around at 9 a.m. also demolished a fence wall belonging to another property owner, Rocky Amugi, before police intervention halted further destructions. The incident follows long-standing conversations over the use of the reclaimed land originally earmarked for a stadium. An accusation has been leveled against the MCE for allegedly reposing the land of construction to a private residence. In October 2024, youth activists protested similarly, attacking the MCE's property and marking it with stop work notice. They argued that development was illegal and pointed out that the matters was pending before the High Court in Sogakopem. Despite their warning, construction reportedly continued, and this latest incident underscores the community's frustration with several public protests having been staged to oppose private development on reclaimed land. The situation remains a source of contention as residents and stakeholders await legal resolutions. And subsequent broadcasts will cross over to our Volta regional correspondents to give us a picture of what is happening in that particular region and why we saw that distraction happen over there. But away from that, let's wind down, settle with some Christmas festivities. And head pastor of Executive Community Church, Reverend Dr. E.T. Frimpong, has cautioned Ghanaians to be wary of 31st night prophecies, indicated that some of the prophecies are not genuine. According to him, about 80% of crossover prophecies are not from God. He says most prophecies see 31st night service as an avenue to get the public's attention with controversial prophecies. He spoke earlier on ABC in the morning.
Because the prophet or the person who is delivering the message has some kind of personal interest or some kind of connection or what the person might be aiming to get from that prophecy. And so not all prophecies are from God, not all prophecies are genuine. So we measure it in accordance with the word of God and also by how it happens. And so how do we know when what the prophet has said comes to pass? That we know, of course, God has spoken, because God is not an author of confusion and God does not make mistakes. The results proves it all. The Bible says, by their fruits you shall know them. The results. So first of all, you measure the life of the man of God, the said man of God, his integrity. You also measure the words that are spoken in connection with the word of God. You try to compare it to what God is saying or what God has said. And then you can be able to see whether what he's saying is actually. Example, if somebody comes to you and tells you ABC, and when you check the word of God, you see that the word of God is in contradiction with what the person has said.
And on the back of this, ABC News Ghana took to the streets of Accra, and some Ghanaians have expressed mixed feelings about the trueness of 31st night prophecies. While some believe these prophecies reflect the will of God, others vehemently threw them in the wind.
What's our opinion is on say, so Uti and Church or Bible anymore. And the prophecies now, Sassofo now by Nemana. Meme to me, dear. Men said that and as of one Indy because never be to set tight, nay, juices be a treat your salon. Me, as I say, be as a mimi, Juma, so I say, and I say, you shall 10,000 Ghana cedis. To me, I'm just meet me 1,000 cedis, send me the cockroach tight. I sounds what now I say. It's ya and brown Yankopon or dear baby, or it's ya and brown in him. It's nice, I ask my queer bonnet. Oh, it's ya so for now, Bano in the GDA said then you move.
Imagine, Chair, Professor, myself for 1 year on the 31st night next day. Sometimes, Nebet Maya no credit on back, I almost say you'll be by the on Betimiaka. By Yenina Yasunyame, ye named the Yambetina, Yambetini, Ama, your kind name bill. It's 50-50 in interest or money now, money pastors. So, can you when you miss them? It's in the Ebermoon, now when you miss them. A child at first, and I make the Macan or the money, Mamma, or Becca. Long as all who Ukana would do in Mancasan who want, and I will say, Yampa, says things. And it's all over now, sorry, and they're open long as all who. The cost for her, no swag of what you'll be saying. Saying, I'm sorry, we are seeing this young.
I didn't try all professors at the end of the year and say, you see, pastors, no, they can bet me a professor and at the end of the year, bet me a professor every time, but why is it?
Interesting thought over there, but what do you also think? We want to know what you think about it. But before we go for business, there is a latest report from the education sector. That's the West African Examination Council, WAEC. It has released a provisional result for the 2024 West African Secondary School Certificate Examination after weeks of delays due due to the government's inability to release the funds. And its press statement says the West African Examination Council wishes to inform its numerous public that it has released provisional results of candidates who sat for the WASSCE for school candidates to 2004 Ghana-only version. The council will make available login details to head of schools to enable them access the results of their candidate. The results have been hosted online, and candidates who so desire may access their results at the council's website www.wayekgh.org. I repeat that, www.wayekgh.org. The statement continues. The council would like to caution all its stakeholders to be wary of fraudsters who promise to upgrade results for a fee. Candidates are to note that WAEC results are secured and can be authenticated using its results verification system. The WAEC QR code can be downloaded and used to verify results. Now, the performance statistics, it says a total number of 460,611 candidates made up of 212,994 males and 247,657 females from 1,003 schools entered for the examination. Now, this figures is about 2.66% higher than the 2023 entry figure, which was recorded of 448,674, a total number of 4,609, which is equivalent to percentage-wise 1.0%, were absent from the examination. The performance of candidates with respect to 4 core subjects is shown on the table below. And so these were some of the results. I'll quickly take that and we can move on. So subject in terms of English, A1 to A6, C6 says 317,701, representing 69.52%. Grade D7, that was 39,542, which is 8.65%. Grade E recorded 25,229, representing 5.53%, and then F9 in terms of English, about 26,872, which represented 5.88%. In core maths, 305,132, representing 66.86%. Grade D7, about 27,656, recorded 5.40%. Grade E8, 21,397, recorded 4.69%, and then F9, 27,816, representing 6.10. Integrated science, these are core subjects, says 268,072, representing 58.77%. D7 recorded 39,640 with 8.69%. And then E8, 29,506, representing 6.47%. And then 32,000, who recorded F9 in terms of integrated science, 32,489, representing 7.12. I wrap up with social studies, and it says that 326,253, representing 71.53%, had A1 to C6, and then about 41,177, representing 9.03%, had D7 in social studies, and about 29,362, representing 6.44%, had E8 on social studies. And grade F in terms of social studies was recorded about 43,570, representing 9.55%. So this is the latest report by the West African Examination Council certificate, and in subsequent bulletin we will delve into this figures and details shortly. Away from education, we're back with some business news. Do stay. In business, the Agricultural Development Bank ADB board has dismissed claims of irregularities in the recent renewal of $750,000 contract, describing it as a routine measure to maintain critical services. In a statement, the board emphasized that all approvals were made within regulatory frameworks and aligned with corporate governance standards. ADB assured stakeholders of its unwavering commitment to professionalism and safeguarding their interests. The clarification follows media reports questioning the timing of contract renewal amidst a transition into a new administration. Sports after this Tuesday. Adding sport, former Ghanaian international Charles Sampson has been named head coach of Black Stars Princesses, Ghana's national under-20 women's football team. Sampson brings a wealth of experience from his playing and coaching career. A former Ghana Premier League player with Gapoa FC, he played abroad in Greece for clubs like Kalamata FC and Apollon Kalamarians before moving to Sweden, where he helped his side gain promotion to the Allsvenskan. After retiring from football, Sampson transitioned into coaching, beginning with Istra United girls under 15 and later managing Swedish Women's League side Talge United FC. He also served as an assistant coach for the Black Queens, Ghana senior women's national team, now leading the Black Princesses. Sampson will oversee the team's qualification campaign for the 2025 FIFA Women's Under-20 World Cup. Supporting him are Fifi Parker Hansen, head coach of Golden Cakes FC, and Anita Redu Minta, who continues as an assistant coach. We're back with some international updates. Former U.S. President Jimmy Carter has died. This foundation, the Carter Center, has announced. Carter served as the 39th president from 1977 until 1981. He was aged 100, making him the longest-lived president in U.S. history. During his tenure as president, Carter faced a spate of foreign policy challenges, and Democrat was defeated in his re-election bid by Ronald Reagan. Last year, it was announced that they would receive hospital care at home following the end of his medical treatment. Carter had been suffering health issues, including a myeloma that spread to his liver and brain. In the post on social media, the Carter Center says, quoting, "I found that former U.S. President Jimmy Carter passed away this afternoon in Plains, Georgia," unquote. Democrat Jimmy Carter, who was U.S. president from 1977 to 1981, lived longer than any other president after leaving the White House. His humanitarian efforts earned him the Nobel Peace Prize after his time in office. We're back with some entertainment news. In entertainment, Stonebwoy has downplayed Shatta Wale's recent invitation by Vibes Cartel to perform at a show in Jamaica, stating that he has moved beyond such opportunities. Speaking in an interview, Stonebwoy highlighted his achievements in Jamaica, including performing at 2 major shows and producing 10 to 15 music videos in the country. The dancehall sensation further asserted that he is now at the stage where he brings Jamaican artists to Ghana, positioning himself as a leader in fostering cultural exchange. He also took a swipe at Shatta Wale, suggesting that his counterpart would merely serve as a curtain raiser at the event, sparking fresh controversy in the ongoing rivalry.
For Jamaica Forba.
Yes.
But Shatwale, they are trying to call Jamaica. And what?
Jamaica, I mean, Koda. me start me Samini in a bow show amongst you know Root Anabo, my memory history. Root Anabo, Ghana reggae band. Omo bo Jamaica. Me tea and omo bo Jamaica first. Root Anabo, check it. Ebi ohwa minim. After Samini Kobo champions in action. After Samini bought champions in action, me about reggae song first about Rebel Salute. Me try video be 10-15 with Jamaica. Eti ya trust our school no. Ama say the omu befie. Check say the hin akawom, the hin askawom, the hin a senior man say ya papa otumfo invite nipa ba ni fie a. Hwe love a woman ni na we asem we kwara ya medwene wo amenti say wo first sebi a second time ni a wo ko Jamaica sebi o ye ukwako raise curtain. Oh, pen credit do. Oh, and then my bow, who say end of here? Oh,
na why?
Man say yeah no. Bro, enyama no mi onyama bebre a tie me. It is same way am sebi. And to me the spice, the whole dancehall queen Abagana. Jamaica same phone and main from Bagana. And 2% say Nipa ba akokwa no ko Jamaica asa ko perform no. And no a big scene. Nipa na wako perform wa shoot video ya. Me Jamaica me kwa me to Kingston 6. Cherry Garden. Be some say Cherry Garden wa emphasize. Eni o say as a yankasenti na na nipa bi ama me fans for no so na sometimes as o mu ni information hey me mo bi andada mo aboy one god obi andada mo say debi o say o performance o ko akoyama ne brand akosro ama Ghana agini we asema o de ba betutu ye ogbolos
if any jesem right
any jesem ti we asema o pese o ya na wunya o tuni wo de no na ema obi de luku say eye nyedwa